want to pose a question to you. I want to pose a thought experiment for you. If this image causes you problems, if you fundamentally have a problem with this and not with this, you're probably racist, or at least harbor discriminatory attitudes. You have a bias within you about race. And the Republican Party most certainly has that. And I don't believe it's just a bias. I believe it's outright racism. You see, in the 1960s, the Black Panther Party used to do cop watching, where they had armed patrols that would go out and ensure that their people were safe in their communities, because the cops weren't going to do it. We're seeing the same thing. You know what the title of the video is. You've seen the thumbnail. You know what I'm going to talk about. But I want to shine a light on this. It's not new. It's not new for black folks to have to protect themselves because the state, the government, the United States of America, to which they pay taxes, of which they are citizens, isn't doing its job. In the 1960s, the Black Panther Party started protesting. They showed up where it was legal to open carry in California at the time. It's no longer, spoiler alert, because of this. Ronald Reagan signed a law that made it illegal to open carry in the state of California because Black Panthers showed up at the state capitol, as was their right, as was legal at the time, and it scared white people. Remember COVID? Remember the lockdowns where these people showed up on the state capitol steps all over the country, armed to the teeth to protest the lockdowns? A lot of Republicans were totally okay with this. But this scares the shit out of them because it's black people. Oh, scary black people. Yeah. So let me read this from the CBS News. Actually, this would probably be better to sum it up since I'm clearly a little befuddled today. This is from CBS News, the lasting legacy of the 1967 Black Panther gun control protest at California Capitol. May 2nd marked the 57th anniversary of one of the most spectacular protests in California state capitol history. The Black Panthers entered the Capitol building armed with guns in protest. Entering the Capitol with an open carry gun was not against the law then. That changed very quickly. Video from the day shows the scene. Black Panthers in their trademark berets and leather jackets carried handguns and shotguns through the halls of the Capitol. State police only stopped the men after 10 had reached the assembly chambers. The shocking protest was aimed at state gun control legislation seeking to prevent the Black Panthers police patrols, their practice of following officers in black neighborhoods. They called it cop watching. Seems like a good idea to me. Following the 1967 Black Panther protest, Republican Assembly member Don Mulford added an urgency clause to his gun control legislation, passed it, and then Governor Ronald Reagan signed it into law. The new law made it a felony to publicly carry a loaded firearm without a permit because of racism, because of white supremacy, because Ronald Reagan, who was a nasty racist himself, and if you don't believe that, if you know, oh, you're just saying that because he's a Republican, there's audio. I'll try to find the audio. I'll just find it. I'll find the audio. We'll put it here, where he's on the phone with Richard Nixon talking about a delegation of African politicians and was joking about them being monkeys and shocked that they wore shoes.
Last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television, as I did, yeah, to see those monkeys from those African countries, damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
So yeah, Ronald Reagan, a real piece of shit. However, because history is it's cyclical, it's just happening again. Right now, there's a community in Ohio called Lincoln Heights. It's a majority black neighborhood that was just assaulted by these KKK, these Nazis who showed up with masks on, threatening the safety of their children and their families. And now there is community patrols, much like what took place in the 60s with the Black Panther Party, where these community members, black people, are arming themselves, as is the law, which is okay. They're following the law. Everything's above board. We'll see for how long in Ohio. But that is what's happening right now, which is just a repeat of what took place in the 60s. Watch this.
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
We're business owners, we're fathers, we're sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio.
Ain't nobody scared of you.
After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers.
First African-American community above the Mason-Dixon line.
Safety and Watch Group spokesperson Durrance Daniels says the police did not do enough, which was more chilling because the town was founded in the 1920s as a safe haven for black residents.
Lincoln Heights is our home. If somebody broke into your home, you call the police, and the police says, you know, if they do it again, we haven't broken any law, so we're just going to allow them to break into your home again. What would you do?
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a black man in my community than I have right now.
The mayor of Evendale, which oversees the police force that responded that day, said in a statement to NBC News, "Our emphasis on de-escalation and public safety resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved."
Come on.
But residents here say they can't afford to wait. Every day, the Safety and Watch Group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family for what we're doing out here.
While many locals do support the security group, some, like business owner Eric Ruffin, say they wish the group wasn't needed.
We don't want to become what we hate. You know, we don't want to become a group of people that walk around feeling like we have a reason in America to have to protect ourselves.
And this community
Stand up.
Stand up.
is not backing down. Morgan Radford, NBC News, Lincoln Heights, Ohio.
We've been talking about this case on I Doubt It podcast, my podcast with Brittany Page. And let me tell you, this should not be the case. If you're an American citizen, you're owed the protection that everyone else is afforded. And when cops are seemingly coordinating with the Nazis, hey, get out of here, guys, get going. And then, we have to there has to be an investigation. When the cops were there witnessing what took place, that was the investigation. You witnessed it with your eyes, heroes, first responders. Why would you expect this community to back the Blue Lives Matter, when you don't give a shit about black lives? Good on them for utilizing their rights under the Constitution of the United States in the Second Amendment. Look, if it's okay for Cletus and his pals to be on the state capitol steps with guns, then it's certainly okay for this largely majority black community to police its community, to make sure their kids are safe walking to school, that their families are safe in their domiciles. What do you think? I would invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. Helps the algorithm to spur up possible new subscribers. That's great. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. I'd love to see you there. And if you appreciate what I do and you want to help independent media, right now is a great time for that. Not like today or Monday, but just the space that we occupy in this timeline really does justify supporting independent media. You can click the join button below, wherever it is. See what's involved below the video, the join button. See what's involved. Become a channel member for $1.99. You can do just that. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.